This episode is brought to you by Novilla Mattresses. When it comes to your mother, you want her sleeping in a comfortable bed. When she's with me, she won't have to worry about that because I sleep on a Novilla mattress. Let me tell you, when your mom is at my place, she is sleeping on a very comfortable mattress and she is going to get you one as well. Meet their Bliss Organic Memory Foam Mattress. Perfect for those who want a cool, dry, undisturbed sleep throughout the night, made with organic bamboo charcoal fiber, excellent motion isolation, cooling gel-infused memory foam that fits all bed frames and is reasonably priced. Perfect for if you want an inexpensive mattress for you, your children, or even for your guest room. It comes in a box delivered right to your door, and you get 100 nights to try it out. Skip that trip to the big box mattress store and get a mattress from Novilla. Throw out that cheap Walmart mattress you got in college and get yourself a mattress made by Novilla. Using promo code Schweezy or the link in our description, you can save 10% on any purchase through Novilla directly. Try out the mattress that your mom tried out last night. Again, that's 10% off using promo code Schweezy. And a reminder, when you use our links, you directly support this show. Hello and what is going on, my fellow Schwoke Lords? What is up? Welcome to another episode of Cancel Schweezy. Cancel Schweezy, the Lord's trademark favorite podcast. Welcome to the show today, folks. Welcome here. I'm in the studio with this beautiful brick wall behind me. Nothing else. I promise you. This is a real brick wall behind me and nothing else. For those of you watching, you're only seeing this beautiful brick wall. It's not fake. It's 100% real. At least someone took an actual photo. Welcome to the show today, folks. Like I said, this is going to be our best episode of Cancel Schweezy that we have literally ever made of this podcast before. Can't believe today is our best episode of Cancel Schweezy this Wednesday, or whenever the fuck you listen to podcasts. That's up to you.
What?
Welcome to the show. Today we got a lot of cool things to talk about today. Some of them very important. Actually, no, I would say they're all important. I would say nothing I'm not going to talk about is not important today. So, making sure that you know that everything being discussed today on Cancel Schweezy is probably the most important thing that will ever be discussed in the entire universe. So, don't be stingy there, or...
I like that. I feel like a woman, a real
woman.
One's, come on, Mark, don't be stingy.
The new soundboard, everything's rearranged, so I gotta, figure that out, so...
Come on, Mark, don't be stingy.
So, yeah. Well, anyways, welcome to the show today. Literally our best episode of Cancel Schweezy. Cancel Schweezy, some of you also know it as the only podcast that's a knock on your bedpost, but you're just a line in a song. First person to comment what that is from wins Cancel Schweezy merit points. Now, can you transfer or convert Cancel Schweezy points, Cancel Schweezy merit points into actual dollar bills? No. Why? Because the merit points are pretty useless. We need to get a merch. I am working on a merch store. I want to get some merch coming on here. It's always like these short runs of shirts. It's like, Republican is the new R word, and bidet the pray away. It's like stuff like that I want to make shirts out of. But it's like, I just don't know who's gonna, it's like, it's a funny idea, but then you're like, who's actually gonna buy this? So if you have interest in anything, any funny quotes or anything, also leave a comment on, or message me or comment on the Cancel Schweezy Instagram. Speaking of which, go check out my social media. It's under TheSchweezy, at TheSchweezy, some of you may know. Instagram I'm on a lot, Facebook I'm on a lot, TikTok I'm on a lot, so if you kind of try to contact me in one of those platforms, you will get a hold of me. Twitter, not so much. I don't think I do much with Twitter these days anymore. So just the way things are, I don't know. Maybe I don't want to. I guess Elon Musk is going away from it, but I don't know. I stopped using Twitter. Stopped being cool when a fat orange guy was using it a lot. So yeah. But anyways, go check out social media. Great way to earn Cancel Schweezy merit points. Great way for you to send me your merch ideas for Cancel Schweezy. Just a couple great ideas for you to look into, see what you're doing, and live, laugh, love, as coasters my mom owns say. Live, laugh, love. You can also go check out my music right now. I haven't released anything in over a year, but hell, you can still check out the old shit. Ride or Die, Volume 1 and 2, out now. Some really great stuff. It's kind of stuff's really, it's important to me. Like, that's where I left off, and now I'm writing new music right now. Like, I've been trying to spend a lot of time writing. I don't know. Like, I'm coming out of, like, really bad writer's block, so it's been somewhat of a process. I got, like, I do have like 2 songs written. I'm trying to finish a third one. It's those second verses. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like a woman, a real woman.
Stuff like that. Go check out my music: Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Deezer, Amazon, YouTube, wherever you listen to your music at. You should be able to find Schweezy there. It's spelled like Cancel Schweezy, but you take out the cancel part, and it's just Schweezy, my name. I did think it's funny because there's a lot of podcasts. Was it Bad Friends with Andrew Santino and Bobby Lee, and they have to do with, the person. But then, like, if you're smart enough, like what I was trying to do with this name, you can go, like, Cancel Schweezy, so that way I don't have to go Cancel Schweezy with Schweezy, It's Cancel Schweezy, and, like, I'm the name of, I'm the name on it, stuff like that. But I don't know, if you get it is just dumb if you're, like, it's like, with the Josh Potter show with Josh Potter. It's like you don't have to do that. You can just do that, and everyone's like, oh, I wonder who hosts this show. Like, it's probably Josh Potter. Cancel Schweezy. I wonder who hosts that show. It's probably Schweezy. Was it Kill Tony? Yeah, Kill Tony. That's with Tony Hinchcliffe. So I was like, some guy named Tony hosts this. Anyways, though, moving on. You can also, another social media type of thing you can go follow me on is Twitch every Thursday. You can go and watch me stream video games. I've been playing Jedi Fallen Order. I think I will be continuing that this Thursday. I had another game in mind I may have wanted to play. I'm trying to figure out the best way on the materials I have to do a Pokemon Nuzlocke. Or another, one of the Nuzlocks I wanted to do was Pokemon Shield, but it's like a Wonder Trade Nuzlocke, where every route you catch a new Pokemon, but then I have to Wonder Trade it and see what I get. And I guess I would have to go with the rules that website shinies and stuff like that don't count. Anyways, though, that's a cool idea. Tell me what you would love to see me play. Because I'd love to try and do that. So twitch.tv/TheSchweezy. So for those of you not in the know, one thing about Twitch is following anyone on Twitch is free. So if you just want to follow me, get notified anytime I go live, you can do that. However, they do have subscriptions, which is typically around a $5 thing. It's like you pay $5 and you can financially support a creator over on Twitch. Really cool thing to do. You can go ahead and do that with whatever you want to do. However, you can also go ahead and connect your Amazon Prime account. I know, like, everyone has an Amazon Prime account, so it's not surprising that you probably listening here today have one too. I have one, even though I kind of hate Amazon, but you just can't get away from it when stuff like that. You can connect the 2 accounts, and you basically get 1 free subscribe. So instead of paying $5, you just get 1 free every month. So why not help out your daddy? So yeah, look, go check that out as well. Streaming here, financially support us. Another way to financially support us, we do have a Patreon page. Basically, right now, what I will say is our Patreon page is a great way to say thank you for being a friend. So go check that out. We need to promote that. And it's not just like podcast things. It's like me existing things. So that's what the Patreon page is good for. It's just straight up. But anything like our sponsors, and since this is a one-man operation right now with Cancel Schweezy, it supports music. It does support the streaming. But I know most of you would either want to support the podcast or my music. So it all goes. It's all in the same bucket right now until I decide I need another employee to help me out with things, which is coming up there. I just want to make sure they are compensated properly. Until we get to that point, it's all the same bucket. So Don't be stingy.
Feel like a woman, a real woman.
God, I need to figure this out.
Come on, Mark. Don't be stingy.
And, go check everything out over there. So, there's also all the free shit you can do. If you're, obviously, for the listeners out there, you can go check out our YouTube page. And our YouTube listeners, you already know this. Make sure you can like our episodes or our highlights. Hit the subscribe button. You get notified. And you hit the bell button. There's the bell button. You get notified when new episodes, new highlights come out as well. On another great thing about our YouTube page, I know we have our majority of our audience is audio only, but what I can tell you with the audio only is go check out our YouTube page still and go hit that subscribe button as well. Because what you can go ahead and do with that, we do post the highlights of the show, and I know, like, sometimes I talk about things that you want to share with your friends. I know, I see that shit, like, on podcasts I listen to all the time, and that's what the great thing about the highlights are, is you go with highlights, what you can go ahead and do is just share just the small clip of what I talked about with your friends and family, and stuff like that, instead of, like, telling them to, like, either the full episode on YouTube or the full audio is like, here's the time marker, listen from this time marker to this time marker. Like, this is just an easier way. That's what really the highlights are for, is for going ahead and, like, that way, some people just want to listen to watch the highlights. Cool. It's all fine with me. Some people want to share the highlight instead of sharing, like, a full episode, which makes sense. It's there for you. It's there for everyone. Everyone has a reason for the highlights. Sometimes you listen to an episode, you really enjoyed a part, and you're like, you know what, I just want to listen to that part again, or watch that part again. And that's what we're here for. So thank you. Thank you for being a friend. Travel down this road back again. Audio-only listeners, you know what to do. Leave a review. Give us a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 star rating. Subscribe. Make sure you're notified when we release new episodes every Wednesday, 7 a.m. I think I need to update it, because last week I was actually awake at 7 a.m. and I was like, the podcast didn't drop till like 7:20, 7:30, so I maybe trying to set it up, infiltrate our audio platform, just like set it to 6, because I love everything to just drop at like 7. Once 7 a.m. happens, Central Standard Time, obviously, everything is up. But if the audio RSS feed bullshit doesn't do that, I may have to just start. I think I'm gonna probably set it to 6:30. Hopefully by 7 it comes up. Hopefully that works out. I'm surprised no one's ever complained. I guess that's not something you'd really complain about. I try to get it to like when everyone typically gets up and drives to work or something like that, you know. I remember like some podcasts drop at noon or 2 p.m. like that. I like it in the early morning, you know. And midnight, I don't know, it just works with it. That's just fucking was it insider baseball talk? Is that what they call it? Anyways, though, let's fucking get into the show.
I like that.
Let's get into previous week right now. What is previous week right now, you may be adding? Previous week right now is the news. The real news that the globalists don't want you to know about. The news that I have gone through this week. I looked through the news, and then I saw, I'm like, what do we really need to know that happened in our previous week right now? So go over that. And I think that explained why I call it previous week right now, because I'm going over the previous week, and I'm going to be going over it right now. So that sound drop didn't work, but anyways, I'm just going to pick a random one on the thing.
Come on, Mark. Don't be stingy.
It's always that one. Okay. And then if you follow along with the Cancel Schweezy drinking game, you got to take a drink. Not if you're driving or commuting somewhere. You can't. You're not allowed to. You're not allowed to drink and drive. It's against the law. Even though fuck cops. But it's also a bad idea to drink and drive. So don't do that. This first article we got is from Chron, CHRON. Pregnant Texas woman driving in HOV lane told police her unborn child counted as a passenger. Is an unborn fetus a human being in the eyes of ... Texas traffic laws? A pregnant Dallas area woman argued as much to police officers in recently being cited for driving alone in the HOV lane, according to a story published Friday afternoon by the Dallas Morning News' Dave Lieber. Lieber reports that Plano resident Brandy Batone, I'm surprised I got something on the first pass, was driving along U.S. Highway 75 en route to picking up her son when she found herself at a checkpoint facing a citation for using the high occupancy vehicle lane while alone in her car. I was driving to pick up my son. I knew I couldn't be a minute late, so I took the HOV lane, Baton told Lieber. As I exited the HOV lane, there was a checkpoint at the end of the exit. I slammed on my brakes and I was pulled over by police. Baton said officers asked her if there was any more occupants inside her vehicle. Pregnant with a daughter, Baton told the officer her unborn child was inside the vehicle with her. According to Lieber, I pointed to my stomach and said, my baby girl is right here. She is a person. Baton said, however, the officers were not buying it. He said, oh no, it's got to be two people outside of the body. Baton spoke to multiple officers over the course of her encounter. She told Lieber one seemed indifferent, Baton claimed, while another gave her a citation and told her to challenge it in court to have it thrown out. One kind of brushed me off when I mentioned this is a living child according to everything that's going on with the overturning of Roe v. Wade, so I don't know why you're not seeing that, I said. Baton explained. He was like, I don't want to deal with this, ma'am. It means two persons outside of the body. Baton ended up receiving a $215 citation and instructions from the issuing officer suggesting that if she fought it, it would most likely get dropped. According to Lieber, the Dallas County Sheriff's Department has declined to issue a statement on Baton's citation or pregnancy defense. In Texas, all abortions are now illegal following the Supreme Court's overturning of Roe and pending enactment of state trigger laws on the practice. Prior to the High Court's ruling, all abortions past 6 weeks of pregnancy had been outlawed by the Texas Heartbeat Act. This prior measure had been modeled closely after language crafted by Christian anti-abortion group Faith to Action Ministries, which has defined the presence of a fetal heartbeat as a marker of an unborn human individual, according to the Texas Tribune. Baton said she does not plan to pay her fine for the incident. I will be fighting it, she said. So, I'm looking at this article. I think this is very cool. Obviously, this is a woman who obviously plans on keeping her, the pregnancy or whatever. So, this is I think this is going to be a very interesting thing because we just got Roe v. Wade has been overturned because I guess the Supreme Court's rules, and I am doing in quotations for the listeners out there, that I guess their legitimate ruling is that it needs to be like a state's issue, not an actual federal government issue. Still bullshit. Then we get to. You get this because I guess the states are very Christian, and also in quotations, I will say, because they're like, life begins at conception or whatever, that's what they're saying. They're saying life begins at conception. Okay, and now we have to get into, if you're going to state that and you're going to say that's believable, in situations like this, I believe that, they're saying, okay, so according to this state's laws, the reason why abortion is banned, is illegal, is because they believe that life begins at conception. Which, I'm always a believer, and
What?
I'm always a believer in. I will say this: I'm a man, or as the woke would say, I'm a penis haver, and I am never going to get pregnant and have to decide for myself. Do I want to keep this fucking parasite we call a fetus inside my body? I'm never going to have to make that decision. However, I'm totally for any woman being able to make that choice for herself. Do I believe life begins at conception? No. We don't celebrate conception days. We celebrate birthdays, the day you get pooped out of a vagina. And I know some of you are like, don't say you pooped it out. Okay, well, I feel like saying you got peed out of a vagina is not kind of the same. It's not really a good thing, because anything that comes out of a penis or a vagina is either pooped or peed, or the butt. Also, the butt counts there too. So you can't tell me I'm wrong when I say a baby was pooped out of a vagina. You can't tell me I'm wrong. So this is a very HOV lane. First of all, I like it carpool lane. That makes sense to me. In Nashville, they have, I think, I-65. I think that's the highway. They had a carpool lane that I always use solo in the mornings, and I was never pulled over for that shit, even though I was legitimately speeding on the highway / interstate. So, I know Nashville, but I know some cities are, kind of anal about that. And it is kind of weird. It's like, hey, I have 5 people in my car. We have a priority of where we need to go versus this person who has 1. And, and I'm a big believer. I went a while without having a car, and if you work from home, it's fine. It's just like when you have to do errands, it's kind of like a pain in the ass. It's like because then it's like you only need to drive like 1 time in a month or something like that. But no, it is something. It is something weird where we have like thousands of people driving in individual cars by themselves every day. It is kind of weird, and like getting transportation. That's a whole other argument for another day. But I think this is very interesting. And so, like, I think I told you, I don't believe a fetus is like, I don't believe a pumpkin seed is a pumpkin. I don't believe that. I think in the scientific sense, I don't think you're a human until birth. That's the thing. And if, society decides that we're going to celebrate conception days and we're going to really idealize the idea of a man and a woman having sex and his sperm attaching itself to that egg, we don't celebrate that and stuff like that. That's another argument. I have a whole thing about this, and I just think it's stupid. But my general beliefs, though, I think a woman should be 100% deciding on what she wants to do with her body. That's 100%, in the situations like this, a woman should be allowed to. Anyways, though, I'm in agreement with her. If the state of Texas and these Texas and traffic laws are going to fall under the jurisdiction of Texas traffic laws, and Texas has very much put a trigger law in banning all abortions. All these Republicans are against regulations, but they want to regulate everything. Then, if Texas laws are going to say abortion should be illegal because life begins at conception, then in this carpool lane, her unborn baby, who I believe this woman is planning to keep. It's weird to keep sperm as a pet. Let's also agree on that. Should be counted as another person. So, yeah, she should fight this in court. And then, I think situations like this should be fought by the law. And I think really people should really be fighting this stuff because there's a lot of bullshit going on in all that shit. Here's a beer. Here's to feeling good all the time, people. Okay. All right, this is from Elite Daily. Doja Cat called Noah Schnapp posting her private DMs snake shit. One of the most unexpected feuds of the year, Noah Schnapp found himself in a bitter hot water yet after posting a TikTok that exposed a private conversation with Doja Cat on July 6th. Schnapp posted a video on his TikTok that revealed Doja's crush on his Stranger Things co-star Joshquinn. Having a crush on Quinn isn't surprising because his character Eddie Munson is a fan favorite, which Doja expressed in a tweet on May 30th that simply read, "Joshquinn is fine as shit." What Doja didn't express was permission for Schnapp to expose her shooting her shot, which she addressed in a July 7th live session on TikTok, and she had a lot to say. Honestly, there's a lot going on in this Doja Cat, Noah Schnapp, Joshquinn drama, so here's a full explanation. To recap, Doja reached out to Schnapp in his DMs and asked for him to pass along a message to Stranger Things co-star Joshquinn. Noah, can you tell Joseph to hit me up? However, that message didn't remain in Schnapp's DM. Schnapp shared the exchange, and a TikTok video the since deleted TikTok Schnapp posted was a short and sweet sour you decide, highlighting the screenshot of their DM conversation to the tune of Doja Cat's hit Boss Bitch. While shooting her shot did indeed make her a boss bitch, it embarrassed Doja, which she made clear in a 6-minute explanation of her feelings. At first, Doja empathized with Schnapp and acknowledged that Schnapp is only 17. To be fair, this is like a kid, Noah. I didn't know how old he is, but he's not even over 21. When you're that young, you make mistakes, so you do dumb shit. Once she got that out of the way, Doja called Schnapp's video was socially unaware and whack. She continued to express how the TikTok made her feel, saying she felt like it was a move that was borderline snake shit, that's like weasel shit, and I'm not saying that encapsulates his entire personality, but I didn't see him that way. I made an assumption that he was gonna be chill about it, and he went and shared information that I didn't feel comfortable with him sharing. Totally understandable. There was a lot to unpack. Doja's response on the live, most of which was her expressing her feelings about the situation. I didn't tell him not to post it because you don't expect people to do that because it's not normal to do that. It's literally not cool and it's not normal. Yeah, like, I'm bummed and I'm disappointed. Ultimately, she landed on squashing the beef, even if it stung. Now, no, it's not that deep. It's just disappointing. Both Schnapp and Quinn haven't responded to Doja's live or addressed the way the situation was unraveled yet, but I'm low-key holding onto a glimmer of hope that this may all end up with Doja and Quinn going on a date. Stranger things have happened before. Okay, so yeah, no, I get this. So in my mind, if someone like hit my DMs like wanting to get to one of my friends, I would take a screenshot of that shit, but I would send it to the person, like my friend, directly. I wouldn't post that shit on like social media. I think like that's a little bad taste. He is 17, so like I was dumb at 17. I was dating chicks. I was like in high school, like dating chicks I thought I was gonna marry, and I was going to church. So if you want to know how stupid I was at 17, I was like, I'm going to church at 17. That's a good explanation of how fucking dumb I was at the age of 17. So does Joshquinn, does he not have social media or whatever? That's an interesting thing. Does he not? Don't really have anything because I'm recording with my phone. That's what the camera is I'm using on my phone. I'm trying to upgrade that. I need to make an Amazon wish list, and maybe one day someone can buy me a new camera. We can do some updated shit. I'd rather do that. If you remember the early episodes of Cancel Schweezy, it was I was like, I don't want to use my phone. I have the Sony camcorder, which I use for my live streams on Twitch, twitch.tv/TheSchweezy, and I go ahead and so you can see that like it's not that good, but it's pretty good for like what I'm using for streaming, especially if I'm in a little box. It looks great, and then when I go to the full screen, I'm like, this looks kind of old. So yeah, does he? I guess Joshquinn doesn't have social media, and so Doja Cat went to Noah to try to get that information. I don't know. First of all, I wouldn't say, so if I was Doja Cat, or if I'm trying to reach out to someone, and I'm like, and this is not even a friend, like this is like you being a famous person, like asking someone else who's gained a lot of popularity. I don't know if Noah Schnapp is like, you consider him famous, but I guess like, I don't know. I feel like he can go out in public and people wouldn't recognize him. Unless you get the bowl cut. Like, I don't know. It's like, I would have just said, hey, do you have Joshquinn's number, or can you get me in contact with Joshquinn? And I would have just left it at that. You know, I guess Doja was, but like Joshquinn is fine as shit. And then just that. What I would have done, like I said, I would have just taken a screenshot, sent it to Joe Mama, no, Joshquinn, and just like said like, hey, I think Doja Cat likes you, and then just end it there. And if Joshquinn was into Doja Cat, then things would have moved further from there. But let's be honest though, most men, like, their preferred death, you ask any man, how would you prefer to die? The asexual ones are gonna be like, in my sleep. The normal ones are going to say, I would like to eat Doja Cat out, and I want her thighs to suffocate me and die. That's how I would like to die. I think most men agree with me, and like that's their preferred way to die. Doja Cat is the shit. Anyways, though, I hope that's a good explanation, because I think, I think that's. It is kind of snake shit. I will say that. Yeah, it is pretty snake shit. That what he did. He did some snake-like shit. He shouldn't have posted on social media. He should have just taken the screenshot, sent it to Joshquinn. Eddie Munson. Eddie, wake up! I don't like this. We're going to talk about Stranger Things later in the episode, so don't touch that dial. I used to say that a lot. Now I don't. Because it makes no fucking sense. Anyways, let's move on. Howie Mandel posts TikTok video leaked on Twitter and Reddit. News Random is the author of this article. The internet isn't happy with Howie Mandel after the comedian posted a grotesque video on his official TikTok account. America's Got Talent judges shocked the internet with a disturbing video of a prolapsed posted on the video sharing platform. Mandel has been trending on Twitter ever since official Howie Mandel, where he amassed over 9.8 million followers and over 180 million likes in a TikTok video uploaded today. The actor posted a disturbing photo of his boyfriend with a rectal prolapse. Howie Mandel's on the video. This happened when my friend Neil leaned over. Does anyone know if this is related to coronavirus? If so, what are we doing? At the time of writing, the video has over 2.8 million views. Not surprisingly, netizens were stunned by the disturbing image. Many also questioned whether such an explicit image could be posted on the platform. According to WebMD, prolapse is a condition in which a body part moves away from its original position. Judging by the bloody video posted by Howie Mandel, this photo looks like a rectal prolapse, and rectal prolapse part of the colon moves out of the original position, causing it to fall or slide out of the anus. Howie Mandel asked viewers if the threat to his friend had anything to do with the coronavirus outbreak. No doctor or medical website this is not a good source. Medical website has confirmed this online. The exact cause of prolapse remains unclear. However, the following reason has been shown to cause rectal prolapse. To treat such events, a doctor recommends a procedure to restore the rectum to its original position. Netizens react to Howie Mandel's TikTok video. Although the current situation looks dangerous, netizens are not excited to see such explicit content on TikTok. Many said they regretted seeing the video. One Twitter user wondered why people laughed at Mandel's disturbing content. Others, meanwhile, said they should have been minding their own business rather than watching the video. So, one thing I want to say to everyone out there, there are two parts to your life. There are two parts to your life. The first part of your life is when you have never seen a prolapsed anus before. The second part of your life begins the moment you've seen a prolapsed anus. Now, I haven't seen the actual Howie Mandel video. However, I've also seen a lot of prolapsed anuses before. And I know you're asking, Schweezy, why are you seeing so many prolapsed anuses? The reason is because I've watched a lot of shock videos, and I've seen 10 prolapsed anus at a time, and you think to yourself, no, I get the concept of a prolapsed anus, but you can't really picture it in your head until you see it, folks. It's not good. And as Dr. Drew would say, you shouldn't prolapse your anus. That's something I do live by. You shouldn't prolapse your anus. I live by that fact. And the ending of this, the last thing I want to say about this is, I post videos on TikTok all the time, and I've gotten a lot of muted, shadow banned, etc., on TikTok. I posted a video of Mike Cara, which, if you don't know who Mike Cara is, we are not on the same TikTok feed. It was like, this girl's like, people need to step up, and people these days don't want to have sex with me. You need to stop and have sex with me. It was quoting that Kim Kardashian shit. And then I made a video, Mike Cara here, and I would love to give you that wet ass pussy. And that got blocked on TikTok. And they did that pretty fast on TikTok. Now, I've heard this Howie Mandel video was up for more than 4 hours. More than 4 hours. I don't get the TikTok. I don't get the censors on TikTok. Like, I talked about Carl Lentz of Hillsong's Dick V in a video, and that got flagged. But, like, Howie Mandel's able to post fucking prolapsed anuses, that is a lot of bullshit. And you know what? I'm offended, TikTok. TikTok, either treat us all the same, or just let us post wherever the fuck we want, okay? That's... okay? Anyways, our last article of the evening. Let's get another drink here. Gotta get the burps out. Normally I don't like drinking. That's not like the worst part about drinking beer. Is like when doing a podcast, it's like, and I got a burp. Anyways, our last article. Beer made from recycled toilet water wins admirers in Singapore. NDTV is the authors of this article. New brew is no ordinary beer. The new Singapore Blonde Ale is made with recycled sewage. The alcoholic beverage is a collaboration between the country's National Water Agency pub and locally craft breweries Brew Works. Were first unveiled at a water conference in 2018. New brew went on sale in supermarkets and at Brew Works outlets in April. I surely couldn't tell this was made of toilet water. In Shu Wei Leon, 58, who had purchased the beer from a supermarket to try after hearing about it. I don't mind having it if it was in the fridge. I mean, it just tastes like beer, and I like beer. New beer uses new water, Singapore brand of drinking water recycled from sewage, which first flowed from treatment plants in 2003 to improve the island's water security. Pub says the new beer is part of an effort to educate Singaporeans on the importance of sustainable water use and recycling. The idea of processing sewage into drinking water, once largely resisted, has been gaining support in the past decade as the world supply of fresh water is increasing under stress. The World Wildlife Fund estimates 2.7 billion people find water scarce for at least 1 month a year. Advanced economies such as Israel and Singapore that have limited freshwater resources have already incorporated the technology into their supplies. Cities such as Los Angeles and London are examining plans to follow suit. Singapore's new water is made by disinfecting sewage with ultraviolet light and passing the liquid through advanced membranes to remove contaminants, particles. Key to expanding the technology is to persuade the public that once the water has been processed, it's just water. New water perfectly suits brewing because it tastes neutral, said Mitch Gribov Burswick, head brewer. The mineral profile of water plays a key role in the chemical reaction during brewing. Breweries elsewhere have also made beer with recycled sewage. Stockholm-based in NYA Carnegie Brewery partner was also brewing giant Carlsberg and IVL, Swedish Environment Research Institutes, to launch a Pilsner made with purified sewage, while Village Brewery in Canada teamed up with researchers from the University of Calgary and the U.S. water technology company Xylem to roll out their own version. Not everyone is convinced. Oh shit. There are many kinds of beer around, and said Singapore student Lo Yu Chen, 22. If I wanted a beer, I'd pick something made of normal water. But others who have sampled new brews say they find that it's a refreshing, light-tasting ale that's perfect for Singapore tropical climates. If you don't tell people it's made from wastewater, they probably won't know. In Grace Chen, 52, after sampling the ale, still, if you're in Singapore and you want to taste it yourself, you maybe need to be quick. The first batch of new brew is already sold out on tap at Brewworks restaurant, and the company expects stock at supermarkets will run out by the end of July. The brewer said it will assess the market response before deciding whether to make another batch. See, I know the process of like the filtering and shit like that to purify it and make it usable. I know it works. Like, and that's the problem. I know it works. But I just think like the idea of saying that, like, yeah, you're drinking poo water, stuff like that, you know. And I know bidet companies, they're like, you know, because I'm a big fan of a clean ass, that like, yeah, you can drink the water that comes out of the bidet, and like, yeah, because it's just your normal water supply. It's the fact that once the water hits the toilet, it's like, that's poo water. Like, that's the idea of it. And you know, I know that. And also, I've been thinking about like the water shortage for a while now. It's like, why don't we work on technology to like make the ocean water drinkable? You know, and then people are like, let's move to Mars and get water on Mars, and let's move to, you know, and shit like that. I was like, and let's filter out poo water. And now I know the poo water will be fine. But like, you know, the way they filter it, but it's like the idea you tell me like you drink the water. I'm like, okay, that tastes like water. That tastes like Dasani. And they're like, you know, that was filtered poo, right? And you're like, oh god. Now you're sick. That's the thing. I don't know how they're going to be able to, the marketing behind that's going to work. But anyways, though, if we're trying to figure out the water crisis in the world, like, what we have to do is streamline the process of filtering out seawater. If we can figure that shit out, we will be good. So, as our buddy would say, is it?
Come on, Mark. Don't be stingy.
That's the rule. Have you ever been out in public and thought, hey, look at that fat guy? only for it to turn out to be a mirror and you are in fact the fat guy. That was the moment that kickstarted me into becoming the greatest health expert the world has ever seen. But I wasn't born being built different. Like Joe Cocker before me, I get by with a little help from my friends. And my friends happen to be today's sponsor, FNX Fitness. FNX Fitness is committed to creating innovative supplements of the highest quality that provide focus for a productive morning, energy to thrive all day, performance supplements to reach new goals, unique sleep and recovery formulas to support any sport, and healthy supplements to support an active lifestyle for years to come. I also really enjoy their clothing line that makes you look good while you work out as well. Another thing I love about FNX Fitness is that with every purchase, they donate a gallon of water to a child in need. Start working out smarter, not harder, by using the link in our description today. You can save 15% on your purchase. Go save 15% on some of the best supplements out there when using the link in our description. And remember, when you use our links, you directly support this show. When you're at the beach, you aren't going there naked, letting everyone see your little shrunken PP from being in the water. No, you're wearing some sort of clothing to cover up your privates. So why would you let companies you buy products from have access to the privates of your credit cards? That's where today's sponsor, Privacy, becomes the clothing for your credit card information. Privacy is the first payment product that keeps your personal information private while being even more convenient than using a physical payment card online. Privacy empowers you to protect your physical card information. Each merchant you share your card information with puts you more at risk to hackers or data breaches. Why not use a privacy card instead? By creating a virtual card with privacy for each merchant you shop with, your physical card is safe and secure. Privacy cards can be paused or closed at any time, preventing any future transactions from being authorized. Privacy cards can also be single-use, meaning they close after just one authorized transaction. One of my favorite ways to use privacy is for a service with a free trial that requires you to put in a credit card to sign up. But wait, there's more. By using the link in our description, you can get $5 to spend anywhere. That's money you get to use. So start paying the smart way with privacy. And remember, when you use our links, you directly support this show. So I had like the weirdest fucking interaction the other day at like Walmart, and I feel like for this podcast, I should actually like tell people about it. So, all right, here we go. So here's the. So I had to go to Walmart. I needed sandpaper. Like that's all I needed. And I guess okay. Let's get into this. Why did you need sandpaper, Schweezy? It's a guitar maintenance. I have a nut on a guitar I'm trying to sell, and the original nut broke, so I replaced the nut. But now the nut is still too high, so I've been trying to adjust it. Yada yada yada. I was trying to trade in for a new bass. However, the store I wanted to get a bass at. If you follow me on Instagram at TheSchweezy, you notice I bought a new bass. But I wanted to trade in that guitar, but that guitar they weren't doing trade-ins. But I kind of needed a bass for some non-Schweezy music related things, and also some for recording. So yeah, and now I'm trying to sell that guitar to try to equal out what I pay for that bass. Anyways, though, the nut is. The guitar, the nut piece is the best way to say it, because if I keep saying nut, it's like everyone's like, jerking off, but realistically, it's like the nut is like the part of the, there's actual nut parts anyways, though. So I just needed sandpaper, and, sandpaper's pretty cheap. It's like, I think I ended up paying like $250, close to $250, for the piece of sand, just a pack of sandpaper at Walmart. So, anyways, I found the sandpaper I needed, and then so I'm like, okay, now I gotta go check it out. I like doing self-checkout because I like not talking to people. I like talking to people. That is a weird situation. I do enjoy talking to people, but I hate small talk, if that makes sense. So it's like when people were like coming up to me to make small talk, and they're like, "How have you been, man?" And I'll be like, "Well, have you heard about how Mandel? He showed prolapsed anuses all over his TikTok." I'll try to bring that up because I hate doing small talk. So and that's the benefit of doing a solo podcast is that there's sometimes people you meet having small talk with them, and then they'll listen to your podcast, so you can just bring up fucking podcast topics. That's a great thing. So that's also I want to say, if you're a Cancel Schweezy podcast listener, if you're ever stuck in small talk and also really hate small talk too, what you can go ahead and do is bring up any fucking thing I say on this podcast. This is for you. I brought it up on the podcast. and it's free reign. If it's on this podcast, it's free reign. You can just copy me, whatever you want. I don't give a fuck. Just don't do that shit with me, okay? Unless you have actual thoughts about it. Like, don't be like, oh, you heard about fucking the prolapse anus? I'm like, okay, we know you're talking. You're just. I don't know. Okay. Anyways, though, so let's talk about this weird fucking interaction I had. So yeah, where did I leave off? I was at the self-checkout at Walmart. And if you're paying with a card at Walmart self-checkout, it's no big deal. You can get by without talking to anyone. And I'm a big believer is I've done cashiering jobs in that the people who have a million problems with self-checkout are R-worded. Yeah, it's Republican. Republican's the R word I'm saying. Anyways, yeah, so, like, it's not that hard. You gotta scan the item, just throw it in the bag. That's all you need to do. We have alcohol. Just go to a real person who looks over the age of 18. That's a little life hack. If you're trying to buy alcohol, don't go to the teenager, because then they're gonna have to swap out, because you have to be 18 to check out someone with alcohol. So self-checkout, anyways, though. So I tried putting, so it was like, it was just the sandpaper. So I tried to put $1 in. It wasn't taking it. I kept trying it. And so, typically we have trouble. They have a guy or woman, or a they, them, depending on what city you're in, that will help you, check you, basically all they have to do, type in their code and authorization or whatever, so just similar to authorization. That's all it is. Anyways, though, so I was like, hey, does this register? Because I thought because usually the register will say if they don't do cash. This one did not accept cash, and I didn't want to pay with a card because I had the cash on me, and I guess it was very small print at the top of the screen, and so I played myself.
That's rough, buddy.
Congratulations. You played yourself.
So I was like, hey, I think you need to cancel me out. I'm going to go to a different register. I only have cash on me. And he, in like a normal... First of all, I'm going to say like a normal person, he just, put it in his gun or anything like that. And then this guy, this fucking Walmart self-checkout guy, I guess the thing is I'm just stupid and didn't read correctly. And I was like, I'm sorry about this, man. I'm like, just... sorry for making you do extra work on barely getting paid at all, It's like fucking, And he's like... Then he went on this whole rant and like, what the fuck is the Starnet? Is it... What was the name of the thing from Skynet? Was it from the... from Terminator? Terminator Company. Terminator Computer Network. I think it's Skynet. Yes, I can't remember what I said. Anyways, though, he's like, things are gonna become like Skynet soon. This guy just starts the conversation. He's like, things are gonna become like Skynet soon. And then he kept going on this rant. He's like, the only occupations that are actually going to be worth it these days are people who will make fools of themselves on the internet. Jobs like, Walmart cashier. It's not going to be like that anymore. It's going to be like people who making a fool of themselves on the internet are going to be the richest. And the thought in my mind immediately goes like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's I guess there's two wolves in all of this, and that was one wolf. The other wolf was like, go on, please continue talking, because I do a podcast and I can talk about this on the podcast. And then he said, like, yeah, people make fools on the internet, It's like jobs, some jobs are not going to be worthwhile anymore. I don't think being a cashier at Walmart is going to be worth anything once the computers rise up. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's like it started like it was based on the Terminator franchise, and then it's like this whole new thing where it's like the only people who are going to be able to make money in this world are people who make a fool of themselves on the internet. Like, what are you talking about? Anyways, I kind of wish I would have recorded it, but I know recording is a whole other thing. I could have disguised his voicemail. I don't know this guy. I didn't learn his name. I just entertained him in his thought process. That's the rule to life. Just entertain weird fucking people and everything you do. because you never know what crazy fucking person you're gonna meet at a Walmart self-checkout when you're trying to buy fucking sandpaper. That's a fucking rule. Anyways, though, like I went home and I was like, Mom, I think I had like the weirdest interaction with a human being I've ever had in my entire life. Anyways, though, yeah. So, are the computers gonna take over? I don't fucking know. Let's stop giving fucking robots like feelings and shit. We can do that. I feel like if we're making the robots, we can make sure they don't have feelings and shit. I'm just saying. We can do that. That's us. We're the ones in charge of that. We're the ones who can say, like, hey, let's make sure this robot doesn't have feelings. Because if the robot gets feelings, things are going to turn to shit. Unless you're nice to the robots like Leia was in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, then I guess things will work out for us in the end. I don't know. I'm just going on a rant right now. That was just a fucking weird interaction I'm just still thinking about. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy... Like, I'm just like, what the fuck are you saying? And I'm like, okay, maybe it's something that makes sense. Like, but he's also like, making a fool of yourself online is going to be the only job in the future. I make a fool of myself online every fucking week on this show. So, okay, let's move on. God damn it. That was a weird fucking interaction. Guess I just had to get that off my chest. Who has been watching The Boys on Amazon? If you have an Amazon Prime account, you get access to this. You also get access to a free subscribe to financially support me over on Twitch, twitch.tv/TheSchweezy. So don't be stingy there.
Come on, Mark, don't be stingy.
And go check that out all over there as well. I need to make sure that okay, everything's still recording. I went off the recording screen. Anyways, though, so The Boys, not just The Boys, is an Amazon show. So I'm a big superhero guy, comic guy. I love that shit. That shit is awesome. I think there's just a lot of good stories written into a lot of those, and I think doing so into the film media is just the perfect translation of a lot of that shit. Anyway, so The Boys is a show where it's like superheroes exist in this world, but not all of them are good. They're not villains, but they do like this. It's more of a realistic take on if like superheroes existed in our world. It's basically like companies sponsor these heroes and have PR teams and make them look good even when they do super shitty ass things. That's basically The Boys. Watch the show. The comics, I don't think the comics are actually that good. I think the show does a better job at translating it and making it a better translation of it. But it's also funny because the main villain kind of this show is a character called Homelander, which there's a lot of parodies in the show. And Homelander is a parody of Superman, just like this invincible Man of Steel. Like, you can't kill Superman. It takes like extraordinary events to try to kill Superman, like Homelander. But the thing is, Homelander is a piece of shit, and he's a terrible person. They kind of based, I guess the actor's basing his performance kind of slightly off Donald Trump and stuff like that. You know, that's the show. That's kind of part of the show. Anyways, though, it's funny considering Jeff Bezos owns Amazon, and he basically, this is one of two shows that basically have the idea of what if Superman was evil, which has been discussed in DC Comics. Like, there is some storylines like that, but this is like a whole new superhero universe where the idea of what if a Superman type character was a bad guy and wasn't a good person at all. You know, the idea of Superman is like he's a very good person, and like the idea of Superman is that he is Kryptonian, but he truly is. He was raised by humans since he was a baby. He really is a human. Like, his humanity is what makes Superman good, and like that's kind of like his whole thing. And I guess, you know, and if you go into DC Comics, I'm like, why is Superman a bad guy? Like, it's always like a traumatic event that triggers something in that. So don't read those, but the idea of Superman is like Superman is supposed to be a good guy. But like these, it's The Boys, which Amazon is making the show on, and Invincible also has that idea as well. It's funny because Jeff Bezos is basically Lex Luthor. And it's like Lex Luthor is like, Superman's a bad guy, and let's show you why. Like, that's the funny shit on The Boys. That's really funny. for everyone to look at and everyone to watch. It's just, that is a very funny, realistic worldview of that to look into when watching this show. And I love like every character on the show like puts something new into this show. However, what I believe with kind of like the writing and how this show has been set up, they have kind of gotten themselves into some sort of like a Gilligans Island situation, which if you didn't know, the idea of Gilligan's Island, which is a TV show from like fucking forever ago, like when my parents were kids, was probably old then, like to be honest, how old this show is. Gilligan's Island, the idea of the show is that a bunch of people got like stuck on a deserted island that no one's ever found. And in the TV show perspective of the idea is if they get off the island, the show is over. That's the idea of Gilligan's Island, like they get off the show. So like the show, like to continue going with the show, they have to like any effort they make to try to get off the island has to fail and stuff like that. They've kind of gotten themselves into this situation with the boys because Homelander is the main villain, and I just with actors and actresses, I know they're just a terrific character when they make me believe, like when we go into like the real world and they just do like their press interviews and press shit like that on our social media, that you still kind of hate them because of how good they played this character. That's the guy who plays Homelander, like he's that good. Like who Dolores Umbridge, that actress, like she, like you still kind of hate her. Like that's how you know someone is actually good at their job, like in acting. But no, like the idea of the boys is that if they kill, like the whole idea of the show kind of is we have to take out Homelander. Like the world will be a better place if Homelander doesn't exist and we just get rid of him. So. Like this idea, everything on this show is setting up towards either killing Homelander or like getting rid of his superpowers and stuff like that. So that's kind of how the show is working. And so, so that's basically the idea of the show. So season 1 set up kind of the entire thing of how the boys got set up and everything like that. And so, that season ended with Homelander killing his love interest and shit like that, and he's like, I don't care. And it's this show between Homelander and Billy Butcher are the real rivals because Homelander is so obsessed with like people liking him, but then at the same time, like Billy Butcher is trying to take Homelander down, and Homelander could easily just wipe out Billy Butcher for the most part because he's not a superhero or a soup as they refer to it in the show. And Homelander could just easily take him out. But if he does, it's basically an end game for Homelander. So season 2, like I watched part of season 2 and I stopped for a while. And then once I heard that they're bringing Temp V into season 3 of The Boys, I was like, okay, I got to catch up on the show. I got to start watching season 3. So that's how I really got back into the show. Season 2, it's like, okay, we got to get rid of Homelander, but we're not really explaining how. We don't really have a good plan on how we're getting rid of Homelander. But Temp V, bringing that into it, I think in the comics what they did was like Temp V was kind of a thing that they used to, take care of the bad superhero problems, stuff like that. But they kind of did a whole different thing in this. So that's like just humans, and it was Temp V. It was like you get 24 hours with superpowers, and then after that you can go back to being a normal human being. And I think that's similar to kind of what they want with the Temp V storyline, is that it's like these, like Huey, Homelander, and a lot of other people, and even there are a lot of supers are like, I wish I don't have my powers. I wish I would have been better off without my powers. And so that's the nice thing about this is like we're giving ourselves powers because for the idea of the ends justify the means, or as I like to say, the ends justify the means. Anyways, so, usually they would get their ass whooped and they have to, like, think outside the box to do it. But the Temp V storyline really stepped up the game in this. And so, best episode of season 3 of The Boys was Herogasm for the most part. Now, they have there's a big orgy here and it's streaming, so, like, they don't censor anything. But look, I'm saying I've seen, like, 10 prolapse anuses. When I was a child, I watched 2 women shit into a cup and eat it. I've seen someone shove a jar up their ass, and someone shove a can of Diet Coke up their ass and shove it back out, and I still drink Diet Coke. So, like, that's the thing. Like, they had, like, this big warning at the beginning of the episode. It's like, be careful when watching this episode, because you could be a little frightening. I'm like, I think millennials are watching the show for the most part, and I think we'll be fine. Anyways, though, but the end of Hero Gasm, how, like, it ended, and it was just, like, it got me so fucking pumped. It was basically Soldier Boy as a character they introduced in the show. I'm trying to explain, like, my thoughts on it without spoiling it, so for those of you watching that, you can watch it and still kind of think the way I think and have thoughts on it. So basically, Soldier Boy was introduced, so about, like, Soldier Boy, Butcher, and Huey. So Butcher had similar powers to Homelander. He had, like, the laser vision and super strength and invincibility kind of thing. Soldier Boy it's very similar to Homelander minus the laser vision but super strength. But Soldier Boy also gained this power of, like, removing a soup's powers. Then Huey had, like, I guess strength. I guess they all just get super strength. That's how it works. And teleportation, but, like, the teleportation didn't work on clothes. Very weird shit when they took the 10 feet. And it was because Homelander was getting his ass whooped. So much so that Homelander pussied out and flew away. They could have gotten Homelander. It was so satisfying because Homelander left that fight with, like, bruises on his body, on his face, that, like, in another episode, Maeve had to, like, notice, like, oh, you're wearing concealer. You actually got your ass whipped for once. It was insane. Like, and that episode was, like, 2 episodes before the finale, and the finale just didn't live up to that fight. There's a lot of problems with the finale. I don't think I'm going over it here today, but anyways, though, I have, like, a couple other thoughts. Mother's Milk. Okay, so Mother's Milk is just a guy in the show, and, like, he was married and had a kid, but I guess after being on the run in season 2 and being in hiding, she ended up they divorced, and I guess now she's with a guy named Todd. I don't know if they're boyfriend or husband. I don't think I didn't pay attention in the show. That's also a good. But he's, like, a big Homelander super fan, and, like, Homelander has slowly kind of been, like, coming out as being, like, a racist piece of shit, which he actually is. I think just Homelander's just a kind of, and I don't know if Homelander's necessarily racist or Nazi. He just wants everyone to worship him, kind of thing, narcissist, and then parent issues and stuff like that. But, like, the thing is, though, like, Homelander has kind of becoming this season kind of came across, like, all the, like, the Republicans, R words, as we like to say, came across as, like, the idea of, like, people who support Homelander, kind of racist, Nazis, just Republican type of people. But, like, Mother's Milk, I only bring this up because it's relevant. He's black. His ex-wife is black. His daughter is black because both parents are black. I don't understand the idea of, like, a guy who's kind of racist and kind of a Nazi dating a black woman with a black child. I just don't get that part. That was kind of weird in the season. I just don't get that. Because, like, they've kind of mentioned that Homelander's kind of been based off Trump. And I just feel like a guy who'd be like Trump would not, and who's a little racist and pretty racist, would not be dating a black woman with a black child. That just seems weird. Also, yeah. I think I mentioned this scene a couple weeks ago. The Deep ate a live octopus, and, like, the idea of, like, the Deep was really good friends with this octopus. The Deep and A-Train, those storylines just don't go anywhere, like, for real. Like, they could edit them out of the show for scenes they're not important in, and the show would be fine. I think it's just goofy little side plots. But they made the Deep eat his friend, who was an octopus, because the Deep can talk to sea creatures, and he made him eat a live octopus. And, like, I'm telling you right now, I've seen a lot of pro-op sayings, but it's always stuff that involves eating. That's the stuff that makes me want to throw up. Like, I almost threw up watching that scene. Like, I had to, like, look away and just, like, listen to the sounds of the episode just to make sure that everything was fine. Like, jeez, that was so fucking gross. And they make it, and we're getting so good at CGI that, like, when you see something that looks clearly CGI, is for a purpose, because the Uncanny Valley, like, we're so good. And, I'm okay with things that look CGI. That's fine. Like, you know, when it just looks clear CGI and stuff like that, because when it's too realistic, like I just saw Thor: Love and Thunder, and when they fight on Omnipotent City, like all the blood was gold. And I'm like, okay, that's a great thing because you show how bloody it was, but it's not real blood. That was so fucking gross when you get the octopus. Like, oh god, I'm like, I'm controlling myself from gagging right now of talking about it. Anyways, though, we got to talk about who we're simping for in this show. 3 main hotties in the show. I feel like who have mommy energy, who we could all be simping over. Kimiko, who I'm so glad they were like, we're not going to call you the female in the show to sound like a fucking incel. We're going to call you Kimiko. Starlight, Annie, you know, we all know Starlight, and Maeve. Those are our mommies of the show. I'm a big simp for Maeve. I don't know, something about her. I think Starlight and Kimiko are super attractive too. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm DTF for all of them, but Maeve, we got to pick one. It's gonna be Maeve for me. Like god damn, she's hot. And it's kind of upsetting that they kind of wrote her out of the show for the next season. But anyways, though, go watch The Boys season 3. Maybe watch a little bit more too to catch up or mustard on whatever you're doing. Take a drink. God damn, I need a drink. Oh god, I got it. I'm not drinking a lot of that. Stranger Things, Volume 2. Stranger Things, Season 4, Volume 2 is what we're going to talk about. I watched it the day it came out. However, I record on Mondays, and last week I didn't want to talk about it. I just wanted to not give everyone the chance to watch it before checking out this podcast. So Volume 2 was only like 2 episodes, but they're pretty fucking long episodes. Like, they're basically mini movies. The last episode was like basically almost a movie. First one was like setting up for the last episode. But anyways, though, I'm not sure if I like the idea of like splitting it up into parts and like the time frame they did it in. But I don't know if they got it right. I like the idea. I don't know if they nailed it, but I don't know. I liked the twist ending for the first part, and then they kind of helped it in the second part. It was like doing a whole TV season as the first part, and then making a movie for the second part. It's very weird. I don't know. But I still enjoy this season. So I recently talked about it. If you go back to my previous video where I talked about like the previous part of the season 4, volume 1. I talked about like how there's too many storylines going on at once, and at the end of that first volume, none of them connected. They did a good job in the second part getting them all to connect. The Russia storyline was a pretty big stretch to get that to connect. I guess their idea was like, it's a hive mind, so if we kill this Demogorgon, we can help everyone else in Hawkins. Okay, I don't even know. The hive mind is even kind of weird. What the hell was like? It was like a half burp or whatever. But I don't know. I guess it's nice that they all really did connect, especially the Cali crew, because that was kind of like a stretch to kind of get it to connect, and to the most part, like to get that crew was just like, oh, Elle can transport into people's minds. I guess we just need a deprivation tank. Where's Joe Rogan? Joe Rogan does not exist. Right? When did news radio? We're not talking about that. Anyways, though, we talk about how they had a whole scene with Master of Puppets. Now people are obsessed with Master of Puppets. It's so weird how people like this is the show that can like find old songs and make them relevant again. It's so weird thinking about that, how like this show is making old songs relevant again. And surprising enough, Metallica has been really cool about them using Master of Puppets. First of all, I do want to say Kate Bush running up that hill, deal with God, you know. So I'm an artist too, so I'm a music artist too. So everyone take a drink or whatever. So the idea of if I write a song and like, you know, make it on my own and stuff like that, that's my artistic integrity, you know, like making that song. I make the song and I have no shame in the song and I like the song. I make the song and it's not like anything deal breaking for me and my artistic integrity, no big deal. But then like a movie's like, hey, we would like to use this song in our movie that you've already made. I'm like, fuck yeah, Go use it, because I didn't have to sacrifice any artistic integrity in making that song, and I made the song, and you liked it, and this movie company or whatever liked it, directors or whatever, they liked it so much, they're like, we're going to put it in our movie. That's just extra money coming into your bank account. Like, that's all it is. It's just extra money, and without sacrificing artistic integrity. So I never understood why Kate Bush was so stingy.
Come on, Mark, don't be stingy.
With her music in, like, being in TV shows and movies. Metallica is definitely the band who's like, fuck yeah, use it. We didn't sacrifice anything. Yeah, go ahead and put our songs in your stuff. I'm like, just make sure we get paid for it, you know? It's like, so they got shit like that. So Metallica, and then they I guess they comment on their TikTok, or I guess in their other social medias, are like, hey, whether you're a new Metallica fan or an old Metallica fan, or you just discovered it from Stranger Things, all are welcome here, which is really cool, because they used to be very stingy.
Come on, Mark, don't be stingy.
About how, like, people were downloading their music and stuff like that. So not many people kind of, like, have a bad taste in their mouth about Metallica. But it's really cool they're, like, actually being really cool about Stranger Things, because, like, if they did a Kiss song in this, Kiss would be like, fuck you, you're not a real fan. It's like, Kiss, you're just fucking juggalos for boomers. Like, that's all they are. Anyways, though, like, yeah, I'm like, me as an artist, I'm like, look, I write songs, and I make sure they don't. I would never be like, hey, write a song for us. I'm like, I think I might do it, but it's not like, I don't really give a shit about it. But like, if I already wrote the song, and then this show is like, hey, we would like to use the song in our show, I'm like, go for it. Just make sure I get the money for it. Like, I never understood Kate Bush on that. I'm like, just like, you're not sacrificing your artistic integrity. You're just getting extra money from a song you're already very proud of. Anyways, though, they fucking killed Eddie, which I'm like, what the fuck? I'm tired of them. Like, this is the problem with Stranger Things. This is the last 3 seasons where they've, like, killed a character we all really started to like, that they introduced in the season. Bob, that random Russian dude, is his name like Alexei or something? I feel like his name is Alexei. I don't know. I'm kind of sick of that shit. Especially Eddie. I didn't really. Well, Bob's different, because he was also Samwise Gamgee at the same time. So, like, killing Bob was kind of upsetting. The random Russian dude, I didn't really give a shit about. Eddie, goddamn, Eddie didn't deserve to die. I mean, he went out with a sacrifice. He deserves his place in Valhalla. But I don't know. There is, like, a weird theory that, like, okay, so since this show is based on, like, is made in, like, the lens of, like, a Dungeons and Dragons game, like Vecna is a character in Dungeons and Dragons, Demogorgon, a character in Dungeons and Dragons, that Eddie will return as, like, Cass the Vampire, since that's, you know, it's a D&D lore, and, like, Cass the Vampire is able to kill Vecna. I don't know, because he died of Dimivats. I don't know how this works. Anyways, though, I'm super excited for Season 5. I hope they don't take too long to release this. I hope they know there is a big momentum going into Season 5, since this is the first season I think they act... Well, I mean, Season 1 they kind of left on a cliffhanger, but, like, not like oh, here's something to expect on the next season. But, like, they've always kind of did that, and you're like, okay, season's kind of... They've always done, like, a complete end to the season, like, well, hey, something you can look forward to, but if we decide to not do this anymore, it's okay. They really got to go into Season 5. And they're also, I've heard them discuss that they're going to do a lot of lore in regards to the Upside Down and go into the lore a lot more in Season 5. I'm like super excited for that. I always love lore and world building and stuff like that. So I'm really excited. Go, if you haven't watched that yet, which I'm really surprised you haven't, and you stuck around for this, go check out, I guess, Part 2 of Season 4 of Stranger Things. I hope they get the Season 5 done as quickly as possible. And I'm so curious about how this whole show is going to end. I'm very curious. I've seen so many theories. I'm just really curious about how things are going to... How we're all going to get fucked up.
What you gonna eat to get fucked up?
Have you ever cracked open a cold one with the boys? The vibes are on, then all of a sudden, you are out of cold ones? Though the vibes are still on, the vibes will soon go off because you are out of cold ones. There's no need to drive when you're under the vibes. That's why today's sponsor, Drizly, is here to make sure that the vibes continue. Drizly gets all your favorite beer, seltzer, wine, whiskey, and much more delivered directly to your home. With their easy-to-use mobile app, we are getting one step closer to never leaving our homes. You know it's saying something when it's being praised as the Amazon for liquor. Drizly is my go-to app for getting all the booze I need so I can do other things. So using our link in the description today, you can save $5 off your first purchase through Drizly. Drizly has proprietary ID verification technology that it provides to its retail partners that allows drivers to scan IDs for more than a barcode to make sure the purchaser is over 21 years old in the US and of legal drinking age in Canada. Retailers on Drizly may have a minimum order or delivery fee. So using our link in the description, get $5 off your first order with Drizly. And remember, when you use our links, you directly support this show. You're not a boomer who still goes to what our ancient civilizations called a store. You buy everything on the internet like a modern individual. What if I could tell you that you could be saving more on your purchases by only making a few clicks on your computer? That's where today's sponsor, Honey, will change your life. Honey is a free browser extension you can download using the link in our description of this episode. Honey searches the entire internet for promo code, coupon codes, free shipping, and anything else that will save you money when buying things online. It's 100% free, and at no point will you have to pay for it with all of those many microtransactions. It's as simple as pressing a single button and you can start saving money. Not using Honey is basically throwing money away that could be saved for more important things. I recently had to get business cards for myself, and Honey literally saved me 60% on a pack of 500 business cards. It was amazing. Add the Honey extension to your browser today for free by using the link in our description of this episode. And when you use our links, you directly support this show. All right, so it's time for Ask Schweezy. Ask Schweezy is the grand finale of every episode of Cancel Schweezy. Not really the grand finale, it's just the last segment we do on this show. It's where I answer questions from you, from everyone. Everyone's curious, except for me. I just know everything. That's the problem. I do know everything. And I know a lot of people are like, you're so fucking stupid, you don't know anything. And then, I'll actually, have conversations with my friends and, tell them a story. I think the other day, I don't know, I was bringing up some story that just sounded dumb. It was the founding of a town. And I'm like, how a town got its name. And I was just telling that to my brother and my mom. And then they looked it up, and I was right. And they're like, yeah, I'm never wrong. Anyways, though, I'm just here to give advice to the youths out there to let you know what is going on. So I just want to, let's just go full throttle.
Feel like a woman, a real woman.
No, we're not going to feel like a woman.
Let's go full throttle.
We're going full throttle today. Anyways, so let's just jump right into it. Let's go into our first question of the segment. If you started to really like a girl, but then she told you she had an ostomy bag and a large scar on her stomach to save her life, would you still be attracted to her, or is that an instant turnoff? I have this, and I am so scared to start dating. Oh, you have this, okay. Wish I could post a photo of myself to show people you can still be beautiful with it. No, ostomy bag is one of those things you have to be attached to. I know I just have it attached to you. I'm gonna look it up real quick on the handy dandy pooter. Ostomy bag. God damn it, I hit the fucking soundboard. Fucking ostomy bag. I just want to make sure I fucking know what I'm doing. Ostomy bag power system. Medical device that provides a means for the collection of waste from surgical diverted biological system. Okay, that's not that big of a video. Okay. So this is gonna be like the adult diapers. It very much depends. It depends on how old you are. It sounds like you're pretty young, to be honest with me. See, I guess so. Teenage boys and maybe a little bit older. I feel like if teenage boys maybe grow be like, oh, and they may think that's baggage. I'm like that. I mean, it is literal baggage, but necessarily is it a deal breaker? Listen, my friend. If you are a hot girl, it's hot girl summer. And it sounds like you're pretty young. I'm just gonna be honest with you. If you are as hot as you say you are, older men are not gonna care as much as a young the younger guys are gonna care. The older you get in dating, it's not that an ostomy bag. I was right about that. It was for poop. I was thinking in my head, I'm I just want to verify the fact. I will say, yeah, it sounds like younger guys younger guys could be a turnoff for younger guys, but younger guys are fucking dumb. Like it's just dating older people is the best. Except if you're 15, then no, it's not. This only applies to people in their 20s. That's the rule. 21 and older. This is dating older people is the best because we all care. And I guess I'm getting to the older people level. We all care less about shit like this. An ostomy bag. The only thing that would be, it's not like a turnoff for me. I'm just worried. I would just be worried about the SEX or SEGs to fight any sensors out there. Because that'd be a thing. Like how are we gonna do this? I remember there was a chick I met, and she had heart problems, which I'm not like shaming her for having heart problems, but she was kind of cute, and that's the relevant point. Because I think she mentioned in conversation, yeah, I can't have sex because my heart rate will get too high and shit like that. And you're like, damn, that's disappointing. I don't think it's gonna work out between us, even though I've not attempted anything with you. That's a good fact. Well. Sorry. So, and I'll be honest with you. You're probably too young for me. I will say that, but I'm gonna be honest. There's a chick on the TikTok for the boomers out there listening. I think it's like Hot Girl in Wheelchair is her name, and I guess she's just like she's paralyzed from the waist down or something like that. And I think because she was in like some sort of car accident, I think that's why, from what my research. But anyways, though, she has this like she got a bump on her back. I think she calls it bumpita or something like that. And I'm super interested. And she did get drained once and didn't film it, which I'm kind of upset about. That upsets me. That's the big upsetting because I want to know what's inside. Because I've studied a lot of at least bumps when they get extracted, see what it is. Looks like an abscess or a cyst, or actually it's kind of too big to be a cyst. I don't think it's lipoma either. I don't know. I think she's gonna need to get some tests and X-rays done on that. But anyways, though, it's kind of upsetting she didn't show the pop. That's okay. Anyways, though, and even her, I'm like, I'd smash. I'm like, grab onto that bump on the back as we keep riding, or whatever. I don't know. Just fucking, like the older you get, the less standards you have, and like when you get older, like you have less standards on like some things and more standards on other things. It's a very weird thing. So, ladies, the hot ladies out there with ostomy bags, I'd say don't worry about it. Just figure out the sex situation because I don't think anyone wants a bag of shit on their bed. But anyways, though, if you're down to smash, you know how to get a hold of me. On this show, at least. You know how to get a hold of me on this show. Next question. Will I get arrested for getting a ball from a school roof? Also, there are cameras, so I'm pretty sure they recorded me. Okay, sounds like you already did this. Will you get arrested? So, here's the thing. I think one time it was like the middle of the night. I think I was in like the high school, and like our high school had like this weird, I don't know how to describe it, but it was like a brick kind of fence thing. It was just like a bunch of circles going up and down, so you could like see through the area, but you couldn't get through. And like you could easily just climb to the roof doing that. People told me all the time to do that. I don't think I ever actually did in my high school, so I've never actually done this. Okay, but just as an adult through experience, let's think about. I'm just gonna like go through the situation. So a lot of times, unless they have someone monitoring the cameras like the entire time, they're probably not. Unless they're monitoring the camera the whole time, someone's probably not going to see it. And then in the situation that you've got yourself in is, I guess, somehow sports happened and the ball ended up on the roof of the school. So you were able to get yourself up to the roof of the school. You got the ball and you came back down. So theoretically, what I would say is a lot of times situations like that, unless someone's watching the whole time, they will. They're only going to go to it is if a situation happened and they need to get footage of what was going on in a situation. Which you getting the ball on the roof doesn't sound like there was an incident that happened for them to be going over the footage of that, and. So yeah, I would say you're probably fine. That's kind of like I think technically they could be like you were trespassing, but at the same time, it sounds like it's going to be more work for them to be like try to arrest you and press charges on you from the school doing that versus like what you were actually. You just got a ball from the roof and then went back down. So that's all the footage would show, and it doesn't sound like because there's trespassing. That's one thing which they could do it, but you weren't really. I mean, I think on the technical term you did trespass, but it's not like trespassing where you're causing a problem in the school. The other thing would be like vandalism, which doesn't sound like you did at all. So, yeah, so I don't think they would have a vandalism charge. They would only have a trespassing charge. And then at that, like, it's not you didn't really do anything to the school, so they'd have to be real stingy.
Feel like a woman, a real woman.
Come on, Mark. Don't be
Hit the
stingy.
fucking right button. They'd have to be real stingy. Like, just someone has to have someone at their ass to do that. So, like, the situation would have to be someone is watching the security camera the whole time, like 24/7 or whenever this was. They'd be watching it. They would say you go to get the ball off and go off, and they'd be like, "Hey, you were trespassing," and then try to press charges off that. Most schools aren't gonna. It's just not worth their time. I would say most schools usually have bigger things to do, unless you have beef with an administrator at the school. Then yeah, you definitely could have a big ass fucking problem. You could have a really big fucking problem with what's going on there. So other than that, though, I think you're probably fine. I'd say that's not something you should be worrying about. And yeah, just rest easy and go full throttle.
Let's go full throttle.
I think the AC just really kicked on right now. What's our next question? Let's take a sip. Let's have some beer. He's feeling good all the time, gang. How do I stop worrying about what people think of me? I hardly ever hang out with my friends because I'm afraid of disappointing them. I struggle to stand up for myself and tend to just agree with people to avoid conflict and because I really want people to like me. How do I get over this? This is a very good lesson on working on yourself and stuff like that. People come up to me. I have friends who are like, how do you just live with people like just not caring what people think of you? And people would really think about that. So that's probably a good reason why I got this question to begin with. How do I deal with it? Here's my secret cap. I'll just like set up Siri on my phone. Okay. How do I deal with it? Here's the thing, Cap. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to. Here's the thing, Cap. I do care what people think about me, and yeah, it's just mentally changing your mindset to how you're going to deal with people. Why are you worrying about people thinking about you? It's definitely the idea of like working on yourself, and this is something I would say that I work in entertainment for the most part, and so I'm constantly dealing with people who are just like saying shit like this, like you suck. Fuck you, you suck. You had sex with my mom, I hate you, stuff like that. And it's like you can either just let them get to you or you can just ignore them because I don't know, I make content for the people who do like me. I don't make content for people who don't like me. So those people are the voices that get to you the most, but like I'm also not making content for them. I'm making content for the people who do like me. That's the thing. And so you're worried about people who not liking you. So first off, you're just worried about that. It's very similar to what I told kids at church camp who were always worried about people not liking them because they were Christian. So I was just like, look, if someone wants to be your friend, they should be your friend. You shouldn't have to not be Christian or whatever to be your friend. If you're going to be friends with someone, you're going to accept them for whatever beliefs they have and stuff like that. And if someone doesn't want to do that, then they're not really your friend. They probably have ulterior motives. That's what I tell people like that. So, like, actual friends, ride or dies.
First of all, ride or die, bitch.
If they will necessarily accept you for who you are. And, you don't have to, you shouldn't have to worry about what your friends, if you're worried about what your friends think about you, I mean, like, in a sense, it's like, if you're worried about your friend, you you being yourself and your friends not liking that, I don't think they're really your friends. Let's be honest with you. They're probably not your friend. They're probably someone you don't need to worry about, and probably someone you should probably get out of your lives. And, you know, when you get older, you just realize a lot of people are just fake-ass bitches. Fake-ass bitches everywhere, and you just have to deal with their shit. I mean, yeah, that's the thing. How do I, you know, and more of how I deal with that, this is easy to say, but not easy to do necessarily. You have to stop caring about what people think about that. I love the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, because you think about the title itself and you're like, oh, you just don't give a fuck about anything. And I'm like, no, that's not necessarily it. It's more prioritizing things in your life, like things you do give a fuck about and things you don't give a fuck about. And that's what I love about the book, is just prioritizing, like, kind of this idea of picking your battle. So, you know, I would just say, you know, you're worried about what people think about you. First of all, be your true self. Be the person you want to be. And if your friends don't accept you for that, they're not really your friends. Get better friends. It's not hard to get better friends. I was like, it's so hard to make friends. I'm like, just be a good friend back. Just start being a good friend to someone else, and they'll be a good friend to you. That's just life advice. So, hope that's explainable. I just went on a rant about some things or whatever. Is it okay for me to be attracted to robots? Jesus fucking Christ.
What?
I have so many fictional crushes and no real ones. All of the fictional ones are robots. All the smut I have on my device is robo-porn. God damn it, there's a name for it. All I can think of is robots, and more robots. Is this normal? I don't have a single human crush. Not fictional and not real. Jesus fucking Christ. How did this get on the list? How do I fucking deal with this shit? I'm attracted to robots. First of all, I don't know what kind of robots you're attracted to. Are you like sex robots? Is it like iRobot? Is it robots from Futurama? I feel old. I'm like, yeah, are there robots from Futurama? And there's probably some kid out there like, what's Futurama? And I'm like, okay. And robo-porn exists too. Robo-porn exists. Is it okay for me to be attracted to robots? First of all, we're all gonna say no. It's not okay to be attracted to robots. And I don't know what kind of robot. Like, I don't know what the appearance of these robots are. Like, that's a confusing fucking statement for me to fucking deal with. And then you're like, I really like robot porn, but I don't think I have a crush on any human crush. I have a lot of fictional. That's the problem. You got to stop having fictional crushes. This is for everyone. You can't be having fictional crushes on goddamn robots. That's not right. What is it about the robots that are sexy? Those russies? The robot pussy, russy? You got that russy there? What? Sorry.
What?
I like on my iPad, it's just like a big stain of me pressing the what button over anything else. Yeah, dude, it's fucking weird that you're into fucking robots. I don't care. Everyone's like, stop. And someone out there is probably like, stop kink shaming this guy. And I'm like, you know what? Kink shaming would benefit a lot of people out there. Let's stop being weird. We know kink shaming will stop a lot of people from being fucking weird and shit like that. Fucking robot porn. There's nothing fucking attractive about a robot. You stick your dick in a robot, it cuts your dick off. If you're trying to give yourself a circumcision, it's perfect. If not, I guess we gotta move on. Okay? I guess let's move on from this dumbass fucking question. How do I ask my boyfriend to take more showers and wear deodorant? He doesn't take showers every day. He can pass a whole weekend without a bath. He doesn't know how to wash his hair properly and doesn't wear deodorant. And sometimes the smell, it's not so good. I really want to sit with him and talk about it, but I'm afraid that he gets hurt with that. You know, here's the thing. I can sit here, point my dumbass fucking face into this dumbass fucking microphone, and I could just give you example after example on how you can trick him, because it's gonna have to be a trick. Because if you can't influence it with sex, you're gonna have to trick him into doing it. I mean, obviously, sex is the trick him with sex. That's gonna be the answer if you want to fucking get a man to do anything, blowjobs especially. And then I could give you an example how you could just fool him, trick him, bamboozle him into taking proper care of his hygiene. I could go on a full rant on how we could do this. However, I kind of feel like you are partially to blame for this. I'm not saying you're the one to blame for him not taking showers properly every day, or even understanding how to wash his hair. What I'm saying is, if you're going to get into a relationship with anyone, there's like a dating stage, and you should have been at least a little aware that he doesn't like to shower a lot. He's kind of a smelly person. He's kind of a smelly dude. So, like I said, we could continue to go on about how we could trick him or convince him with sex to do this, but you signed up for this the moment you decided to get into a relationship with a smelly person. I mean, hygiene is an important thing for me.
What?
In regards to relationships, and thinking about dating a smelly woman is gross. Like, I've kind of been saying for a while that women who have armpit hair don't wash their pussies. That's a fact. So yeah, the obvious. You signed up for this when you got into a relationship. You said boyfriend, so I'm imagining this is a real life relationship that you have gotten yourself into, and now you're dealing with the consequences of this. You shouldn't have gotten into it's a good idea to understand the baggage you're getting yourself into when you get into a relationship with someone. This is baggage, and now you're trying to change someone. So, like I said, commence him with sex, just bamboozle him. But at the end of the day, you're really the one to blame, because you were the one who decided to get into a relationship with a smelly person to begin with. And someone who doesn't know how to clean themselves properly or often at all. For me, when you talk to parents, you're like, well, once your son wants to start fucking dating, they will try to clean themselves a little bit more, and then if they don't, you get a little bit worried. The idea, you just want them to start dating again. Date anyone, penis, vagina. You just want them to put effort in themselves to make them clean, keep themselves clean. They just need motivation. Kids need motivation, and that's how they do it. But this person, grown ass fucking people, it's your fault. You're the one who decided this. You knew this going in, and now you're trying to change someone after you knew something going in. So, yeah, that's that. That's the way it is. Why are all the men in porn so unattractive? In every porn video I've seen, the men are usually average-looking dudes that, for the lack of a better description, look like they don't pay child support. Half of them have dad bods and are like a 3 at best. The women are always the picture of ideal beauty standards, tiny waist and big boobs and butt, always pandering to the guys everyone in need, but the guys almost never looking out for the woman's pleasure. 40 to 50% of women watch porn, the majority of being straight. I'm assuming this because LGBT people are the minority, and I assume there are plenty of gay men that watch porn, so why aren't men held to a standard of women in porn? So, that's a good question. I always say that, but that's a good question. Here's the thing, and I'm assuming the way the porn you look at is probably similar to straight people porn. Now, here's the thing with straight people porn. A majority of porn is made to be ideal to a man. So, to a man looking at it, women are like, I just don't know how to turn on my man. Watch porn. Watch a porn video. Women fantasies are like those fucking erotica novels. And he swung from his rope and grabbed her by the waist and kissed her passionately on her big, beautiful, like stuff like that. That's what turns women on. What turns men on? Watch a porn plot. You're like at the doctor, and she's like, "Oh, I know how I can help you," and he pulls down his pants and starts choking on his dick. With Jesus fucking sneezed. So it's like a man trying to read erotica. You're like, man, this woman doesn't sound attractive at all. And you're like, yeah, that doesn't matter. So, how the guy looks doesn't matter. Now, I do know in the porn industry for guys, what's most important is having a big dick. And you don't have to be good looking to have a big dick. You just have to have a big dick. It's just, you're born with it. I'm fine with a normal sized dick because, and if a woman's like, I can't have to have a guy with 8 inches. I'm like, it sounds like you have a pretty big fucking vagina, and I'm not here for that. I need a tight one, I don't care if it's a little couple, if it looks like an Arby's, but if it's like a pretty fucking loose, it's like, oh, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
What?
And so yeah, that's the idea. You have to realize that nearly 40% of women watch porn, but like you have to realize the variety of what women watch in porn is gonna be different. I always feel like anytime I watch if I would go on the street and be like, go to women and be like, do you watch porn? And the ones that say yes, who are not lying to me, that I'll be like, so what kind of stuff are you into? Like, what's the kink you kind of like to watch? And some of them watch gay porn, and it's like, that's weird. Someone watch lesbian porn, someone watch straight porn, but and then there's like first person view porn and stuff like that. It's like the guy gets to pretend he's fucking the chick. Stuff like that. And so, it's all different. So, like, the preference of porn is different, but majority of porn is made for the male fantasy. I say male. A man's fantasy. A straight man's fantasy. So, it doesn't really matter what the guy looks like. A lot of times, it's just the guy has to be packing. That's the rule. So, yeah, it doesn't really matter what a guy looks like. And women are different and what they're attracted to, too. They'd rather have a guy who's, like, confident. Doesn't matter how ugly he is. Like, if he's pretty ugly, it doesn't really matter. Unless he's confident, and stuff like that. That's, it's how it is. Sexuality is a fickle beast. So, here's to feeling good all the time, gang. Good? Good, my burp? Okay. Let's go on to our last question. Is it ultimately selfish to not want/have children? All right, I'm playing huge devil's advocate here because everyone is entitled to the right to not have children, and it's frankly none of my beeswax. But I'm not sure if people are really taking time to consider the existential implications of not continuing to procreate. Like, if we give any real credence to tradition in trying to secure a fundamental and universal principle that isn't so intertwined in beliefs/ideology, isn't our singularly commonality the fact that we're here not solely because our direct ancestors never stopped hanky-pankying since the beginning of our sexual reproduction? That doesn't really feel like small potatoes. If you make the decision to not have children, or just straight up can't for whatever reason, you're directly putting an end to a chain of STDs that is quite possibly the longest streak of anything ever. On the other hand, kids are damn expensive. Okay, so yeah, is it ultimately selfish to not want/have children? I don't know. I live under the mindset that it's selfish to want to have children, to be honest with you, because people are like, oh, it's so selfless to love a child and you selflessly love them. I'm like, but weren't you the one who were like, I want to be a parent. I want to be that's pretty selfish to force someone to exist in our world, go through life, get traumatized, and then have to work a shitty ass job to stay alive. That's pretty selfish because you want to have a fucking baby. Like, that sounds pretty selfish to me. Like, you can love the thing selflessly, but at the same time, you're pretty selfish to want to have a kid. It's like, I would love to get a cheeseburger. I would not get a cheeseburger and be like, I'm so selfless for getting a cheeseburger right now. No, you're not thinking that at all. It's the same. You want children. Sometimes people have oopsie babies and decide to keep them. That's okay. I actually feel like that's more of the correct way for the universe saying, like, hey, I want this individual to exist on our world, instead of being like trying to force a baby to exist or a human being to exist in the world. More just the universe saying, like, hey, this person is meant to exist. But, yeah, when you're, like, trying to have children, you want children. Like I said, you want children. You don't need children. There's never been an idea you need children. Like, we need to keep our family line going. Are you the fucking Queen of England? No, you don't. You don't need to keep your lineage going. Like, it's stupid. It's 2022. We don't need to keep lineages going. If no one in my family has a kid and the name dies out, it's no big deal. That name is dead, and it's not a big deal. What's gonna happen? Well, the name is dead. I don't fucking know. It's just a lot of bullshit. Ultimately, is it selfish to want children? Yes, I think it is, 100%. You can love them selflessly. That's okay. And I'm not saying anyone shouldn't have children, but in my view, if someone who acts like they're better than other people because they decided to let some dude just go raw dog jizz in them, it's a selfless act, and you're not better because of it. Anyways, though, that's how we're ending today's episode of Cancel Schweezy. Thank you so much for checking out this episode, listening, watching, whatever else you would do with this fucking podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Cancel Schweezy, better known as the Lord's trademark favorite podcast. Social media everywhere at TheSchweezy. Go check me out there. Music under Schweezy. Just take the cancel, cross it out. It's just Schweezy. Go check me out there. Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Deezer, anything else you see. Twitch.tv/TheSchweezy. Go watch me play video games. Connect your Amazon Prime account. That way you get a free sub and financially help support the show without spending any extra money. You also have Patreon, a great way to financially support us. But don't forget all the free shit you can do. Like if you go on YouTube, especially if you're here right now, go subscribe, leave us a comment, like and share our highlights and episodes with your friends to help us infiltrate algorithms. And if you're on audio only, leave a review and give us a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 star rating. So do that. Be cool. Don't be stingy.
Come on, Mark. Don't be stingy.
And I guess we have to end the episode the best way ever. So honk if you love butt drugs and stay awesome. Believe it or not, Schweg isn't at home. Please leave a message at the beep. I must be out or I'd pick up the phone. Where could I be? Believe it or not, I'm not home. You just finished a full episode of Cancel Schweezy. You are now one of the smartest individuals who will ever exist in our world. If you like that episode, make sure you subscribe. Whether you're watching this show or listening to the show, make sure you subscribe. That way you get notified whenever we release full new episodes as well. And if you're on YouTube, smash that bell button. That way you get notified anytime we make a post over here on YouTube. Honk if you love butt drugs, and stay awesome.